once you get everybody who's healthy and off the weed.
Do you guys enjoy the taste of bird boogers and semen?
If I wanted to see Michael Fassbender be gay with himself, I would have just watched Assassin's Creed again.
BirdFeed! Hey everyone, welcome back. BirdFeed, Michael and Devin here. I know, it's been a minute.
It's been a hot minute.
A hot minute.
As the children would say these days.
Very hot lit moments and minutes and...
Yeah, the hot minute that took place over a very cold period, which was the winter.
That's right.
And also the fall.
But yeah, we're back.
We returned, yeah.
That's right. You may have seen our pretty cool intro and everything.
Dude, there's like 6 people on YouTube that have missed the shit out of us.
I know.
I'm telling you that right now, Devonshire.
Yeah, our whole 6 subscribers.
If not 7. There could be 7.
They've been tweeting at us too.
Oh, hardcore. And retweeting. like, subscribe, and share.
Me and Michael, we're going to start off the 2018 BirdFeed year doing a review of Ready Player One.
Which, God, we have so much to talk about with this movie.
I know.
We want to talk about it for like 2 weeks, by the way.
Yeah.
Or 3. I don't know when we saw it. But
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago. But we've been wanting to talk about this movie because like there's been nothing but like shitty things said about this movie for the past 3 weeks.
Right before we saw it, like there was a lot of like meh and meh and eh. And I'm like, was it really bad?
Yeah, like I was hyped for this movie for months, and I thought you were interested in it too. Yeah, it looked great, right? And I was like, okay, well, maybe this movie sucks.
Yeah,
like I really thought we were gonna watch a shitty ass movie, and we're not saying like, okay, so we obviously like the movie, but we're not saying it's like the best movie ever.
Exactly.
But really?
No, it was an enjoyable movie. To start off, I loved the movie. I thought it was very fun. It had a great pace to it. I mean, there's a little nitpicks here and there, but overall, like I gave it a solid grading. Like it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. Like I'm definitely gonna purchase it when it comes out.
Which I will be very appreciative because I share your Voodoo account. I don't know if we can say that on YouTube, but I do share your Voodoo account. Otherwise, I would also buy this movie.
We are getting shut down right now.
Oh no! You can't say Voodoo 3 times.
Yeah, voodoo.
So
lights start flickering.
No, I totally agree with you. Like, the way I kind of looked at this movie is like, if I was a kid and I watched something like this, I'd be like, this is amazing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, for people our age, yeah, it was enjoyable, but it's not like a perfect film. You know what I mean? But
exactly.
Like, but if you put yourself in the shoes of like how old you were when you first watched Jurassic Park, or like, you know, like some of those crazy blockbusters from back in the day, like,
yeah,
this would have been the coolest thing you've ever seen.
Spielberg made another fun movie.
Yeah,
that's
a great
exactly
movie.
What he made. Yep.
And I saw this thing where he was talking about like when he debuted the movie, he said this isn't a film. This is a movie for moviegoers, like for people to enjoy. And that's exactly what it was. Like what it set out to try and tried to do, it did exactly that.
Exactly.
It was a fun movie.
And I haven't read the full book. I read probably like the first 3 chapters. And then it's
pretty boring first 3 chapters.
Yeah. It's a good book, but at that point in time, I'm like, meh, reading, you know?
So you were the first 3 chapters, not to veer off, but the book, there are a lot of differences.
There is a lot of differences.
Did you get far enough to realize like the way he gets the first key is totally different from...
Yeah. That was at least as far as I got. It was the first key. Because I was like, oh, he's going to fight someone.
Yeah, he's going to go into a dungeon or whatever.
Oh, spoilers.
Spoilers for Ernest Cline's 2011 book that's outdated already. Yes. Yeah, I thought there was going to be like a fight or something, but like I was glad that Steven Spielberg totally just kind of like went off in his own direction.
Exactly.
Because I never thought that book would translate really well to a movie. Like the major plot points, I could see that, but I wanted it to be like more action packed. Yeah. Which is what this movie was.
Oh yeah, from start to finish, this movie had quite a bit of action, and I thought it was for me, pacing in a movie is a big thing, and I thought it had great pace. You know, from first, second, third, final act. You know, basically.
Yeah, like it followed that 3-act structure perfectly. Like the beginning started out with like good humor and then good action, and then even in the lulls, like we were getting like good story beats. You know, like,
right?
And like I see a lot of criticism for the acting in this movie. Like, okay, yeah, it's a bunch of like teenagers.
But I wasn't necessarily there for the acting.
Exactly.
Though. I'm there for all the video game references. Mm-hmm. I'm there for the action. I'm there for the humor. I was there for the graphics and everything, which I thought it was pretty good. Graphics.
Oh yeah, like the graphics. Like another criticism, people saying like it looks really cartoony. It's like this takes place.
They're in a video
It's
game.
a virtual reality video game world.
What did you expect? Like,
like if video games look like that right now, I'd be like, that's fucking cool.
Right?
I'd be down for that, whatever. But like, okay, if you want to criticize like the acting, that's fine, I guess. But like, again, you said like you're not there for the acting. Like I go back to when we watched the last Transformers movie, the newest one last night. If that movie had like even half of the story beats that something like this did, I would have been happy.
Yeah.
You know, and like, yeah, you can make fun of some stuff in the movie, but like overall, like the experience was good.
it was a great
a fun
experience. I think we had the same favorite moment of the movie was the
The beginning.
you like the beginning the most?
I thought that's what you're getting at.
The
but
King Kong part, the race.
that was a good moment. I don't think that was necessarily my favorite moment. I thought that's what you're alluding to.
Oh no, my favorite
Because we
moment
talked about
was the no. I liked the race at the very beginning was amazingly done.
You're
There's
talking about the Shining part.
The
right?
Shining part
Yeah,
is my favorite.
Which that's all we'll say, like, because I'm sure there's people who have not seen the movie.
Yeah, all two viewers like the Shining moment.
Yeah.
Shining moment.
like
it's-
the NCAA tournament.
It's probably like the best part of the like to me it was the best part of the movie. I thought the race in the very beginning was done a beautifully well, just all around. Like
Good suspense,
there was
yeah.
no background music or anything. It was just pure
just sound effects.
yeah. Like
People talking, dialogue, what action's happening. Like it was kind of like a little symphony of action
Right.
going on. Yeah, I agree with you. That probably was the best part. And the reason why I would probably go in that direction is just because like of a movie with like 4,000 like pop culture references.
Right.
Like they really took some time and honed in on that moment. It was like, this is so cool. Because at first it is like, okay, it's, you know, it's a Shining reference. And then they go
Right.
deeper.
oh
Which-
yeah,
which was really,
it
really
was horror films galore. Like
Yeah, again, not to give too much
not to
away.
get too much away, but yeah, it's you're like, oh wait, oh they're gonna see that? No, like,
Right.
and one person's oblivious to it all, and
That was so
and that
well
just
done.
makes it the best because they're like, I've never seen these.
Yeah, and I think, and that's what this movie did like so amazingly. Like I said, like if you're a kid watching this and you got some of those references, maybe like they delivered on those parts because it's like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. Like
Right.
they're gonna go in this direction. Like that happened over and over and over again in this movie. Like again at the very end of the movie when the climactic moment, like they start having all these characters on screen and like
Yep.
one after the next, like is that guy, that guy, that guy. Like you're just
Yeah.
like calling them out left and right. Like, that's so cool.
I know. I wish the only thing I wish there was a little more of was this is kind of like Xbox fanboy. I wish there was more Halo.
There's only one moment.
Yeah,
where
we have
got
like
the
a
Spartans.
quick 2.5 second of Spartans.
There's when they went to the Doom planet, you could actually see him kind of off in the background.
Oh, there
There's-
was more Spartans?
There's Covenant.
Oh,
running around
Covenant
too.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say, but
I guess not. Again, not to spoil it.
however, though, I mean,
Doom Planet
spoilers.
was awesome, by the way.
Doom
too.
Planet was pretty good, but they also Spielberg proved to me that they can make a Gundam movie, and it needs to happen. That was the one thing I'm like, yes.
It was really cool. I mean, I'm not a Gundam fan, so I'm not gonna like say.
I'm not a
like,
huge Gundam fan, but I was always wanting to. If they can make a stupid ass Dragon Ball movie, they can make a Gundam film. Like
Timothy, where's Timothy at?
yeah. Timothy's on
No.
the
Okay, like I'm kind of on board with that. Like there was, I mean, they had like the Iron Giant moment. There was, you know, all
Did
kinds.
you hear
of,
the criticism about the Iron Giant?
No.
Because in the Iron Giant film, obviously, he's not for war.
Yes.
He's for peace. People were criticizing because he was shooting his lasers and killing minions and stuff.
It's
like,
the video game equivalent of a skin.
yeah, that's
That's all
exactly
it
like
is.
that's like. What do you expect to do? Like, give it,
Instead of purchasing it for $2.99 on Xbox Live Marketplace, he built
right?
it.
Give it
So-
the IOI, the friggin' hugs. Like, no, it's there to fight another giant metal monster. Which
Yeah.
I'll try not to give too much away, which was pretty cool.
I didn't realize we were going to be reviewing the movie because I didn't think we were going to be like we both agree on it. You know?
Yeah.
But I kind of wish I like brought a notepad.
Right.
You know, like to write down some of the stuff that I
Everything.
caught because there were so many scenes where I'm like, oh, that's happened. Oh, that's cool. Like I wish I could have been writing this stuff down because, like, if you're a gamer, if you're an '80s nostalgia guy, like, I mean, they use the DeLorean, which is cool, but like they didn't overuse it too.
They
to the
didn't
point where it's
overuse it
cheesy.
exactly.
They had like you said, they had King Kong moments. There's there's dinosaurs, Jurassic Park references. Like all of Steven Spielberg's catalog was put on display in this movie. Too,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is cool. And I don't know how he got all these other partnerships too, like these people who
I have
volunteer their properties.
no right. Like, oh yeah, take a quick 2 second, have it in there. But yeah, I think I saw something that was like possibly over 150 Easter eggs in it, like
I believe
references
it.
and
It
stuff.
came out Easter weekend too.
And Easter weekend, yeah. And that's the thing is like this movie, like there's so much in it. It's one of those ones where you're like, I'm gonna have to watch again.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
try and catch, because I'm pretty sure each time you watch it, and you're probably looking at a different spot in the screen, you're gonna find something new every single time.
Yeah, and he absolutely maximized every inch of that screen.
Did you
Like,
appreciate the alien moment?
Of course I did. Yes, that was the best. That was so
When
funny.
I saw it, I was like, I was looking at it, I was like, look at that.
That was hilarious. And that's another thing. I mean, again, acting, whatever, but this movie was funny, like
It was.
consistently throughout. Like, and it was. I think it was more so funny, like when they were kind of referencing, like, okay, so this is what's happening in VR world. Now this is what's actually
Right.
happening. Like, and they showed that over and over again. Like, okay, so here's a guy having fun, and then like they showed what he's doing, and the real one just looks like a retard.
It reminds me of like the South Park when Randy's in the
Yes.
Best Buy
Yes.
fighting and he's like,
After he gets stabbed.
take it, Stan. Stan.
Yeah, like it was just. It was exactly what I thought, like what I kind of hoped it would be, and also like different from what I was expecting, which is
Exactly.
nice. It's like with the Marvel movies. What I always like about them is like they're exactly the same but different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think it's a movie that anyone can enjoy. My friend Shannon came along with us, and she is probably like one of the more like least game people. Like she knows a lot about games
Yeah.
and stuff, but not more of like the current ones and more references. But
But it kind of like spoon fed some of that.
yeah,
too.
but she enjoyed it a lot
Yeah.
too. Like
Oh,
and
she was
it's
like, she was going like, oh my god.
Right,
I
right.
heard her talking throughout the movie. It's like, okay, she's into it, so I can nerd out here for a second.
exactly,
laugh
and so it's basically a movie that anyone can enjoy.
I was gasping at parts. Like towards the end, I was literally gasping. Like, this is like high drama. This
Right.
movie's not that serious, but it's sad. Like I'm concerned.
The only thing like that I'll nitpick on, it's a little bit of a spoiler, is when Percival's aunt dies. So aunt and boyfriend they die from a terrorist bombing basically, trying to kill Percival. But then like he gets kidnapped, but it turns out he's kidnapped by Artemis, basically to save him. And then like 5 seconds later they're like making out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, did your aunt just not die? And then he's like talking to the villain. And he's like, "You killed my mom's sister."
But
I'm
yeah,
like,
you're right.
That's
though.
your aunt, not just your mom's sister. But
Yeah.
I think that was a couple things.
It was like a story beat that just like happened, and it's like okay, and then they moved
yeah,
on way
moved
too quickly.
Way too quickly. There was not a moment for it to kind of like give us like a moment of the character.
Yeah.
Yes, he probably didn't have the greatest relationship, but that was literally his last family.
Exactly. And yeah, I think if we're gonna go into criticisms, that's the biggest issue with the movie. Is like, yeah, there's lulls in the movie, and when they're in the VR world, the lulls were okay because like the pace kept going. Like, okay, this is make believe a little bit. I can buy into this. But then when you went back to the human parts, like some of it was a little, it was like heavy handed. Then they would just move to the next story beat.
Yeah.
And the acting, because you had to actually look at their real faces and listen to them talk to each other, like it was hard to believe, especially like when Artemis and the main character meet up.
Percival,
yeah. When Percival and Artemis meet up, and they're talking, it's Wade Watts and the girl, and it's like, why do they like each other again? Like,
right?
And why are they? And the way they meet up. I don't want to spoil any story beats, but like the way they meet up, it's just way too obvious.
Oh yeah.
Are we going into any spoilers at the end of this, or?
Yeah. And
we'll keep it light.
We're good. We're good.
But yeah, that whole scene was just it felt awkward, and I was like, okay, let's just get back to the action.
I love how you brought up though. What's the main actor's name? What's his name?
I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who also plays Cyclops.
Plays Cyclops in the X-Men Apocalypse.
Yep.
Once again, he's behind.
He's behind the Cyclops mask.
Behind us, looks like the same exact Cyclops mask.
It's almost jarring when he doesn't have the mask on.
Yeah.
You're like, who's this kid?
Surprised he can go pew 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 pew.
Because I don't think I can think of one movie he's been in that he's not Cyclops, basically.
Right,
Like,
I'm trying to think
a
of
big movie at least.
any other movies he's in. I know he's in movies. I
know there's a kid in Dunkirk who looks kind of like him, but it's not.
Yeah, it kind of looks
That's
like
about
him.
it. But yeah, overall, I thought it was really good, and I think the main thing is I just wanted to point out, like, there are people out there who like this movie, so if you're doubting it, you should maybe go check it out. It's not terrible.
Oh no, yeah, definitely recommend to go see it while it's in theaters before Avengers comes out and it goes away.
Because like, yeah, exactly, which will be quick. There's people online, the people that I follow, and I like their opinions. A lot of them, like even the people I thought would enjoy it, that I watched their reviews after the fact, they're like, nope, it's not that good. It's crap.
I think it's a movie where if you're going to be like a full-on critic, you're probably not going to enjoy it. But I mean, if you just watch the movie, just take a second. I'm not saying it's a total turn your brain off, enjoy like how I referenced Transfer last night. It was one of the ones, just turn your brain off and just watch an action flick. But it's something that you're gonna enjoy. Just have fun. Basically,
take it for what it is.
Exactly,
and that's okay.
Reel in the nostalgia, because there is quite a bit, especially if you're probably around our age.
Yeah, it's definitely made for people who are
and 40s
coming out of the 80s and 90s. This movie is definitely for you. Yeah, it's not a perfect movie by any means, but it's fun.
Yeah, I give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that seems like a fair score. I'd give like 7.5 to 8.5, whatever, somewhere in there. So probably 8 out of 10, I guess. But like you're saying, like if you want to be a full-on critic, you might not enjoy it. But I honestly feel like critics sometimes, my issue with them is like they focus so much on the critical part.
Exactly.
Like, why can't you watch this as someone who enjoys this type of film?
Hey, right?
Because
just
there's
enjoy.
An audience. Yeah, enjoy the movie, and that's what we did. We had a good time.
We did. We had a great time. Do you want to dive into some spoilers?
Yeah, well,
few minutes.
Spoiler section.
Spoilers, brah.
Spoilers, brah. Let's put that on the screen somehow.
Spoilers, brah.
Okay. So first spoiler that we wanted to get at was the Shining section.
The Shining section, which to me was the best part of the movie. It totally caught me off guard. I thought they were going to go into more like game references and stuff, but then they went into the movie lore.
Yep.
And not just the movie lore, but like horror films. Like there was
and just the whole setup to how they got into that.
Yeah, and there was that rooms was that 1608 or something. What's the
I forget it.
Yeah, it's room something.
There's a Netflix documentary based on that room. So if you look that up.
Yeah, so there's that room, and then the what's the character's name that was clueless to it? I forget the character's name.
It's the Doom Planet chick. But it looks like a guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, like she's a
it's H. Right?
H is oblivious to this because she's never seen the movie. So her like reaction to everything, like, oh hey, two little girls, and I'm like, no,
this is bad.
Get away from them. Red rum.
You want to go in the elevator?
Yeah.
And if you know if you know the scene we're referring to, two twins at the end of the hallway. In this movie, it's a shot by shot recreation of that scene. And so you see H pop around the corner. She spots the two little girls, and you're like, oh no, we know where this is going. But she's concerned for the two little girls.
What are you doing here?
Until she sees them trying to go in the elevator. She's like, why are the elevator doors open? She runs towards them. The flood of blood, of course, picks her up. And it was so well done. What I really liked about that whole part is it does start out as it's literally shot for shot, like the lobby of the
hotel,
the Overlook Hotel. And it's from The Shining, like it's actually from that movie. And then like they keep doing that. It's still shot for shot, like they're moving throughout the hotel, and then they slowly start to break that, and it kind of moves into 3 dimensions.
Right?
Did you notice that? So there's once the part happens where he goes into the bathroom after he deals with the little girls, you get zombie lady.
Who's like just a normal lady in a bathroom. He's like, oh hey, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, and she gets out. And if you've seen that, and she starts decaying, and he's like, no.
Dude, that scene, I honestly, when I was a child, like haunted me forever.
Right.
So disturbing. It still messes me when I watch it today. But it was funny how like she went from the the early 80s, late 70s look to suddenly she's like full CGI. She's turned into a giant. She's breaking through like the fourth wall and all that. Like it was such a cool part.
I know it was like there's much more.
And then they gamified it too, which is cool.
Didn't like. Was it Freddy or Jason popped out during that scene too?
I think it was Freddy. I don't even remember that part.
They were like going through like a maze or something.
Oh, like pops out around the corner when he's running.
Yeah.
While she's chasing him with the axe.
Yeah.
I don't.
I think it was
again. I wish I had Notepad.
Yeah, Notepad, and obviously we're 2 weeks out. However, one of the kind of like off-topic spoiler, the scene with Chucky,
Yes.
Chucky as he was a weapon. It wasn't
Yes.
a person in a Skinner thing. Chucky was a weapon.
Which is why I'm glad we're doing a spoiler part of this, because it's hard to explain why the references are so clever.
Yeah.
But that's a great example, because it's like you kind of hear mumblings of like, okay, like there's a bunch of horror movie characters that pop up in this movie. Like, how are they going to do that?
Exactly.
How are they use Chucky? Devin?
How are you gonna use Chucky? I was like,
Explain
I
it
was
to
like,
me.
wait, is that someone like playing as Chucky, which would have been cool and creative, but then it was
a special attack.
He was special attack, and he just launches it on the bad guys, and he just goes around tearing people up.
Right.
And then the Gundam suit was a special what did they say,
Yeah,
2
it
minute.
had a 2 minute cooldown on it or something.
Yeah,
Like that.
and so I mean he only got to use it for it, but they were fighting Mecha Godzilla.
Yep.
Which I thought was pretty awesome. I was really waiting for someone to be Godzilla
Yes.
and fight it. Like that would have been
Godzilla
awesome.
on Mecha Godzilla.
Julie would have lost her shit.
Absolutely.
I actually liked that that final battle sequence, like that whole final act.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. There's quite a bit of good action.
There's good drama in that.
There
part.
was very good drama and good twists and turns. It wasn't a necessarily fight to the death battle, and it was very clever because basically the main villain just tried to wipe everyone. Just if he couldn't have it, no one was gonna happen, and he was just wiping everyone.
Yeah,
but the kid had a extra life. Percival had an extra life, which allowed him
which was also clever writing, because it was something that popped up that seemed innocuous earlier in the movie, and then it came back full circle. But I did think that part was cool too, because the way you could look at the villain in the movie, it's almost like he's like a mod for like an online video game. Like it's just they wrote it so smartly, the way that okay, you care for the good
basically
guys.
the main villain is microtransactions, by the way.
Yeah, he's microtransactions.
Microtransactions.
He's loot boxes the person. If you play Battlefield 1, you're like, God, I fucking hate this game. It's that guy. Yeah.
Wait, I thought this was Battlefront. Battlefront 2.
Yeah, and again for spoilers, like a big spoiler is we were talking earlier about how he gets his first key. I thought that was a very smart movie way to write how he did that, because it was really cool, because you're like wondering how the hell is he gonna
exactly.
He can't get past that race, and all you have to do is just finish the race.
Yeah,
that's the objective.
That was the objective.
I mean, it was a little bit too. It was kind of convenient how he figured out like what you do to do that. Like he goes to that one memory of the creator over and over again.
And it was also a smart way to introduce you to that library too.
Yes.
Because that's the main a big part, and so how they learn
how
about
he gets to step 2 with the shining and all that too.
What I was thinking, because I was like, okay, are they gonna switch it up how he's gonna finish the race? I thought he was gonna finish the race with the DeLorean flying over King Kong. Yeah, and using there's no roads where we're going.
That's what Julie said too, or maybe it was you. After
it was me. Okay.
Yeah. That would make sense. That didn't even occur to me. I think it's based on just like from reading the books. They always talk about like there's always some unstoppable layer to each of these challenges, and you have to kind of like turn it on its head. But that would have made sense. Yeah, I could see them doing that. I don't know. There's not too much like other spoiler stuff you want to get into.
What do you think of T.J. Miller's character?
I thought he was hilarious.
Probably the last movie he's ever going to do, by the way.
Oh, he's imploding quick, which is another topic.
Yeah.
But his character was fucking amazing, because he's basically just like the fat World of Warcraft.
Right, and which is funny because when you see that character, you're like, oh man, this would be some menacing dude. But then it's like, just T.J. Miller being T.J. Miller.
Okay, and I don't want to sound stupid in front of like any fucking internet like geek fanboys here, but I'm pretty sure his character was. It was mainly a character from Diablo, but it's also a combination of somebody from StarCraft, which are 2 Blizzard games.
Yeah, I can see him.
The face, I think, was based off like the Butcher from Diablo.
I was waiting for us actually, because you don't see him ever. You don't see his
actual person, which I think he's one of the only people in the movie.
Yeah, you don't see him, which I was kind of like waiting for like. When he got wiped, just be at like the keyboard and be like,
"No!" this pissed off.
Yeah, because he was like, "No, don't do it," because I have 10 years worth of gear, on this.
Yes.
And
Which like it took me a while to kind of figure out what they were talking about. Like I honestly thought that like it was just some guy he gave a shit ton of money to, but really he found like the ultimate like fanboy,
Right.
guy who plays the game nonstop for years and years. And so when you get to that climactic part where he does lose his arm, like you're talking about, it's just coins shooting out of his arm nonstop.
It was just toys, and then he grows a tentacle. Like
It was so well done, man.
what kind of also like it was more. I like how they brought a little bit of realization was in the beginning when you found out that Percival's aunt's boyfriend spent literally their life savings on upgrades just to lose it within a matter of seconds. And
Yeah,
you
and,
know
that's
it kind of put a little realization of like a gambling addiction.
That's what I was gonna say.
A little bit.
I was kind of hoping the movie would go further into those themes because, like,
Right.
that is a problem we're dealing with right now. Like you were talking about microtransactions and we were talking about loot boxes. Like, if it keeps going, which it kind of is already, it's kind of steamrolling at this point, or the ball of snow is building up.
Right.
Like, it's gonna get worse and worse. And like, and if people are this consumed with the game, like you can see stuff like that happening all the time. Where someone mortgages their life.
Like I paid $100 for the full thing of Destiny 2.
Yep.
And I mean, I barely play now, but I saw like another expansion's coming out. I'm like, all right, well, that's gonna get me back, but at the same time,
Yep.
I mean,
it's all a gamble though.
if I never bought that, if I just bought the normal one, I'd have been done with that game in 2 weeks. Like I wouldn't have been able to do anything else,
Yep.
go anywhere else, and I think they kind of like elaborated that on Ready Player One. That's like like I said, the microtransactions was the main villain because he wanted to basically have different tiers of players. Wanted to have if you want this, you got to pay that.
Yeah, and I kind of just wish that like writing wise, I mean maybe they did write in and they just got rid of some of that stuff, but I wish they would have dove deeper into like how much this like messed with people's lives. They do have parts of the movie where they touch on the fact that the creators of the game or the people who monitor the game currently, they had like their own collection agencies internally, like inside of the software, which is like, okay, that's interesting too, but it was always kind of like a side note,
Right.
Because like honestly, if things are like that in 30 years from now, like, I mean, who's going to police that? You're going to have to set up a different like
Which was very
inside
crazy
these things.
was they didn't really elaborate much on professional lives, basically like people having jobs. Other than the main job was to work for the IOI and
was to farm Iowa. Or
Yeah.
To farm. God, what's the name of it? What's the name of the VR world they're in? Whatever. Yeah.
Oasis.
The Oasis.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I'm trying to think. What it was like. Yeah, the Oasis. Yeah, basically that's what they were doing, like just farming the Oasis, and they were building their own stuff.
Yeah, and even when they'd show like buildings where there's obviously people working their 9 to 5s, like they'd all like be in VR. It's
Right.
Like, is this all people?
I'm
do?
like, is that everyone does all day? Like everything's VR. Like your job's VR. Like
It doesn't. I mean, I guess it makes sense. If
right.
that's
I mean,
the world
I'm a
economy.
tech support person. I'm like, man,
That'd be hard.
how'd I be able to do tech support on tech support? Like,
You'd have to Inception tech support.
yeah. Gotta spin my top. Please fall. Please fall.
Like, am I still in the Oasis?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You're still in the Oasis.
Where's my totem?
You're gonna have to take 3 layers of visors off your head.
One last spoiler. I loved that scene where they tricked him, thinking that he was back in reality when he wasn't.
Yes, that's
That-
what I was getting at. Right
That
there.
Inception part was pretty clever.
Yeah, the whole thing where they're driving around in like an unmarked van was kind of weird and convenient
Yeah.
also, but yeah, again, like you got to do what you got to do to make a movie, and it worked out. I definitely enjoyed the movie.
I did too. Anything else?
I don't got much else to say.
All right. Well, thanks for
Go
watching.
check it out.
Ready Player One still in theaters for at least another few weeks. Check it out. Definitely recommend. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Mike's
I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. He always
Great
just
Spielberg
always
movie.
just a half up me.
Always 1/2 point up on him.
Yeah, make sure you follow us. So please like and subscribe to the video, BirdFeedPC, and keep a lookout for us and more videos coming your way. Thanks for watching.
Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe to BirdFeedPC. All our pages on SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube are all BirdFeedPC, all lowercase, all one word.